again. And we're going to carry on with this chap here. We've got on the base coating done, it's all dried now. We just need to touch up a few areas before we continue. And those areas are mainly around the cloak. And for that, what we're going to be doing is pointing the light to the model instead of into my eyes, and just painting over where we need to. The one we just noticed it needs doing. Yes, I'm in not very observant mode today, I'm afraid. So this could be a complete hash of a video, but never mind. It won't be the first time, it certainly won't be the last. Okay, so there's a lot more there that needs doing. I mistook some of it for the fire. Okay. Now, that's that done. I will leave that to dry a little bit. I want to show you the previous model we did, which was the Bounty Hunter. Now, if you remember, we put the dried or the dead grass effect thing on it. It looked really bright. Well, it doesn't look as bright now as it did. It's dulled down quite a bit because it doesn't have the white glue underneath. Once the glue's dried, it dulls down quite a bit and sinks in to the or settles itself with the rest of the paintwork, and fits in a lot better. So that's the finished model for that. So that was with the dead grass, because that character is a what we call it, an evil alignment. This character is neutral alignment, so we won't be using that particular colour for that. Okay, what we need to do next is just go over the hair again. Now, on all the model, this looks more like it's a headdress, but I cannot see any detail in it, so I'm just going to do it black. As though it's just been tied up. Okay, so that's that bit done. Next, what we're going to be doing is taking some of the Talisman sand, which is this colour, a slightly paler colour than the Steel Legion Drab. Apply it to our palette. And this is going to be the highlight colour for the cape. Notice as yet that I haven't touched washes. That's because the washes I'm going to apply when all the highlights are on with these models, because with them being fairly small models, they can what's the word I'm looking for? They can look as though they're a bit too bright and not quite right. So I'm going to apply, oh, that's for the highlights. So I'm going to apply the highlights and I'm going to wash it to mute down the highlights. And I'm also going to try something I've not really tried before with this model, because there's like a fire effect. I'm going to try a little bit of like an ambient light source. So I'm going to do slightly reddish, slightly more reddish on this side and underneath where the flames are going to be reflected, just to see if I can do it. It's not something I've tried before, but it might be worthwhile having a bash with this particular model, seeing as it's the what we call it, a very oh dear Lord, I don't know what I'm saying now. It's gone. Seeing as there's a lot of flame here, it might be worthwhile trying it out. It may come to nothing. I may decide against it in a bit, as in like chicken out, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Okay, next what I want is not that one. In fact, yeah, I'll try this one for a change. I'm going to try Rune Lord Brass. This is going to go onto our palette. And as I said, this is going to be the base colour for the metallic areas. In fact, I don't think actually using this as an experiment in light source is a good idea, because it's all red anyway and you're not going to see much of it. Ah, heck. But we'll see what happens. And what we need to do is just apply this metallic colour over all the raised areas where we think it's going to be metallic, working as well off the image on the hero card, which is always a good reference if you're sticking with the colour scheme for it. I can't actually tell about these gloves, but I may actually change my mind of having them red yet. I may change them to a brownish colour. I don't know. I may actually change them to a browny red. Like a brick red kind of thing. Try and make it look like it's a red leather. And so that's that part done. I'm going to come back and give this a second coat of this brass colour. It's not going to stay like this because it's very, very watery at the moment. It's not covering all the red as I would like. And yeah. Sorry if I'm going quiet, it's just that I'm trying to see what I'm looking at and concentrate. Oops. So various areas on the foot here that need doing in the gold. Oops, I've gone over a little bit there, I didn't want gold there. Well, it's brass rather than gold, isn't it? I'm gonna go along like so with this, there, and down here like so. This particular design isn't on the other side, so I think it's just like a one-sided thing. Yeah, and I think I'm going to also have to go over the face again by the look of it. It's not looking as clear as I would like. That's all of that looks to be gold. Yeah. And that is it, I believe, for the time being. I don't think there is anything else I need to do in the gold for this. There's that bit there, I don't know what it is. I'm just going to do it anyway in gold, in the hope that this is something that should be gold. Okay, next we have, as I said, we're going to just go over the flesh areas once more. And it's the same colour we used originally, which is the Ungor flesh. So there's not much of a detail in this particular model. You sometimes get that with Talisman figures, the faces aren't quite right. The detail has been lost, but you can only work with what you've got, can't you? Okay, so that's that part. Now what I want to do is, using a paler red, which will be, in this case, Evil Sun's Scarlet, and a fine brush. We're going straight out of the pot with this. So the fine brush. And we're going to be picking out some of the knobbly bits that's on his armour. This is going to take some time, so I'm just going to speed the camera up at this point. Oops. And as you can see, I'm doing the underneath as well with this, because as I said, there's going to be light from underneath with the flame. So that's the reason why there's going to be underneath lighting. And that's almost done. Okay. Next, what I want to do is start on washes. So first off, we are going to be using, it's not a wash, it's a glaze. This is GUILLIMAN blue, or GUILLIMAN blue. And this is the one I'm going to be using for the water effect, which is what's in his right hand as we look at it. And we're just going to apply this as a wash. Just going to sink into the crevices and give it that blue tint. And then when we come back, or when we come back to this, once it's dried, we can then dry brush. I'll give the edges a dry brushing with white to re-enhance that colour. don't want this going on, or you don't want a terribly dark colour going on this, because it's water. You want it fairly pale-ish, and this blue glaze does the job incredibly well. It's not as overpowering as Drakenhof Nightshade. It's a pale colour, and all said and done, and that will give that nice watery effect. Plus it will dry paler. Anyway, next, I'm not touching the flame. That's going to be the last thing we do. What I am going to do, however, is using, when I can find it, where are you, where are you, where are you? There we go. CARROBURG Crimson. We're going to be putting that all over the armour. And the clothing, even the metallic areas, because we want this red. So I want this going into the recesses and giving the shadow the whatchamacallit, the highlight has already been applied. I don't go to town with these models, to be brutally honest, with painting, because the majority of the time they're just stuck in a box. I don't play Talisman often as I would like, because it takes so long to play it, and I just don't have the time or the people interested in playing a game of this type that lasts that long. But there we are. Next, what we're going to be using is, for the flesh, it's going to be REIKLAND LESHSHADE. The hard part will be the next wash, because I can't find the pot. Okay, so I'm going to go onto this on the brush and just slap it on and hope as you can see it's not picking up any strong details, because unfortunately there isn't any in the face on this model, but we can create the look that there is something there. But as I say, now I have to hunt round for the Agrax Earthshade, and I know I have some in here somewhere. How do you know I found some? I think that's my new pot, but I haven't opened that yet. Let's finish off the pot I have first. I really wish they'd stick to doing the washes in the black cap. Like this one is. This is what I was looking for. What we're going to do now, after shaking it up, we're going to liberally apply it to the cape. Like so. And as always with washes, try not to leave any form of a hard edge to it as you're washing, because you'll never get rid of it if you do. By hard edge I mean don't allow it to dry in one point. Keep working it until it's done. And yeah. And finally this side here. And it's okay in some areas if you allow the washes to touch, because it just creates a mix together, blend together, and creates a bit of a darker shadow. But you don't want to get the brown into the water area. You want that staying as water, so be careful what you do there. It's pooling up here, so I want to try and clear that off. There we are. So that's how we've got so far. When we come back, we'll be highlighting again these metallic areas and adding some highlights to the face, and then hopefully we can do the flame effects, which is going to be interesting to say the least. But until then, we're just going to have to wait until this dries. So I'll see you in a bit.